What is it like to drive the ultimate heavy-duty pickup truck? Well, I'm about to show you this right now. I'm behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 GMC Sierra heavy-duty AT4X AEV edition, but it's got so much more going for it. And I'm going up the dare side of Tombstone Hill. I'm in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. This truck is on 37s, but I'm gonna do much more than that as well. I'm also gonna show you what it's like to daily drive this truck, how fuel efficient it is, and what is the driving range of this big Overland rig. Also, it's surprisingly quick on the road. It's a big Duramax diesel. And you could bring your big camper with you basically anywhere you dare to point this thing. Let's do this. There is so much going on with this particular truck. Let me show you all the most important details. AEV is American Expedition Vehicles, and I've seen a prototype concept, raised air intake like this, the snorkel, but now you can actually buy it, and you don't have to buy any other modifications. You can just get this, get some fresh air up high, so if it's a dusty trail, you can be sure you're getting a little bit of cleaner air. And let me show you how it integrates into this diesel. This 6.6 liter turbo diesel V8 Duramax is all stock. No mods going on here. And that's very important because for any long travel vehicle, you want it to be durable. Most important, because right here, right now, there is not a single person within a mile or two of me. And if I was to break down here, could be an issue. So that's really important. But that air intake integrates almost in a factory way. I mean, I can see some piping here in the fender, then it goes into this main box, and the air is delivered directly into the engine. So 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. But there's another surprise. Let me show you out back. Yeah, look at this exhaust pipe. It's massive. This is a MagnaFlow exhaust, which basically bolts up to the diesel particulate filter. It's called filter back system, and it looks pretty attractive, I think. This is probably as big as I ever want to go. I'm not sure. Well, nobody has scraped it yet. But it doesn't change the sound that much, but I think it may improve the overall airflow. As such, I want to show you how quick this truck is. So normally speaking, I would never do a 0 to 60 acceleration on a large off-road camping truck. But in this case, I think this truck with the air intake and the exhaust system is quite quick. Let me try it. I have a draggy GPS device on the roof. And .2 seconds. I'm doing it because I've been driving it around for the last 2 to 3 days. And it's actually remarkable, especially passing maneuvers. This truck screams. And I think it's partially because of, well, maybe it's breathing a little bit better, but this is a mile above sea level. I'm gonna try a two-wheel drive also. That was an all-wheel drive, traction control disabled, and I did do some brake torquing on it because there's a lot of weight and there's a lot of tire. Each tire is 13.5 inches wide, which is a lot of tire. Still really good hookup. No tire spin, no smoke. That Borla exhaust is exhaling. Yes. 9.09 seconds, 0 to 60. Woo. So for a truck that weighs, what, with the camper and everything and the water in it, what, almost 10,000 pounds, I know it's not a Hummer EV truck, but for a diesel, really good performance. Well, you could probably stuff a 37-inch tall tire underneath an AT4X AV edition. No matter what, you could and probably will have some rubbing. So AV went a little bit further and they provided this kind of clearance kit. This tire is almost all the way turned one way. And also this Salta XD wheel has a different offset than a standard AT4X AV. And it pushes this wheel out a little bit, maybe a few millimeters this way. But this is still a tested, very heavy duty wheel. Can handle a lot of weight, up to about 4,100 pounds per wheel. And then they put in this tire that's also very wide. This is 13.5 inches wide, huge. As I was saying before, the ride height on the suspension is all stock, and it does have stock Multimatic, DSSV, spool valve, position sensitive, shocks. Very long name, but these have been proven on and on and on. I mean, they were introduced in previous iteration of the Chevy Colorado many years ago, and now they're here in the heavy-duty truck, full-size trucks, all of them. This truck is an example of what you can do with your pickup truck. All of the modifications, most of them you see here, you can actually buy. And this exact truck can be yours. It's going to be sold in the fall of this year, in October or November. It's going to be on Bring a Trailer. You can actually bid on it and buy it, including everything you see here. Or if you don't want everything you see here, you can pick and choose and modify your vehicle in a very purposeful way to make it this cool. So every Overland vehicle needs to go a long distance. So I took it on a highway fuel efficiency run to see exactly how this big heavy duty diesel on 37s and a camper actually does when you're driving at 75 miles an hour on an interstate in order to get to that coolest location that you're looking for. So let me show you, let me take you there. Let's get to the pump and let's see how it goes. All right, let's see what kind of range this truck is able to get. I'm here at my local Buc-ee's getting some diesel. It's actually pretty nice, $2.95 a gallon. Woo! And let's calculate exactly what efficiency, what kind of range and efficiency this diesel gets on 37s with a big camper. The truck used up 5.587 gallons. Let's calculate. I checked the map online for an exact mileage. I used interstates and basically highway speeds. I went 78.2 miles and I used up 5.587 gallons equals 13.99, which is basically 14 mpg. All right, so maybe not a super high number, but considering what this truck is, weighing what, about 10,000 pounds with all the equipment, that's pretty good. Now this particular Sierra Heavy Duty is also breaking some news because it has the latest 37-inch tall tire upfit package from AEV. You can already buy an AEV version of this truck from the factory. And I'm not just kidding when I say from the factory. This is actually from the factory. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but this is a big truck. So I am currently doing 2-tree squeeze. And this is kind of a tight area of Tombstone Hill. And I want to see exactly how nimble this giant beast actually is. I know the camper is very tough, but I am pushing this to the very limit. This is insane. This might be, I hope my tombstone doesn't appear here in this video, because I don't know if I can make this squeeze. This is just insane. I'm gonna fold my mirrors and I'm gonna go as slowly as possible. And this can be a negative of going into the Colorado Rockies, because if you're below the tree line, you may have to squeeze. Oh boy, this truck is very expensive. This is kind of nuts. This is very nuts. Awning is getting hit. Okay, I won't be able to squeeze here, but not to worry. There's so much more terrain to be had. Of course, without the camper, this truck would fit, but I'm bringing my condo with me. Let me actually show you the camper just really quickly. Now you're probably wondering, all right, well, how much do all of these components cost, including the truck itself? Well, if you were to buy a diesel-powered AEV edition AT4X 2025 Sierra Heavy Duty, that would run you around $104,000 directly from the dealership. That does not include the snorkel, the winch, the 37-inch tall tire package, the paint package on the hood that's on this truck as well. All those items are extra, so you have to account several $1,000s for that. Of course, some money for the tires. And then this camper base price is just under 50 grand, 49,900. But this camper also has alu-cab awning, shower cube, additional storage boxes, batteries, solar, inverter, a couple of other options. So it has about $14,000 of options inside of this camper. So when you add all of those numbers, it's approaching $175,000 of all the components, maybe even pushing it even further. So there's a lot going on, and you can be sure with all of these components, you could basically camp anywhere, just like this. The reason why I like this particular truck is because it's built with the whole thing in mind, which means the chassis of this truck, the engine, the powertrain, the tires, and what it's carrying and all the equipment that it has is kind of a holistic approach. The suspension is basically factory, so even though they fit these big 37s on, there's no additional lift from the suspension. And here I'm doing a tiny bit of articulation just to show you how it flexes. And it's carrying quite a bit of weight, and that weight is a little bit higher. So it does have those airbags, air helpers in the back, just to kind of lift up the rear end and allow it still to maybe even tow a trailer, or a pretty hefty trailer as well. And still allows you to reach that ultimate beautiful camping spot. Oh yes. Normally when I would review a truck like this, I would point here and say there could be a winch installed in this space, but I don't have to do this now because there is a winch here. It's 12,500 pound winch, and it's integrated super well because this bumper was built for it. You could see this kind of bump out here, so it may subtract a tiny bit of approach angle, but because this truck has a larger tire, it's sitting a little bit higher, so the approach angle is amazing. And this is very important. This light bar is basically a prototype bar that you'll be able to buy very shortly. You can mount lights on it like this, and there's also a camera with a little squirter. So factory integration into this aftermarket component from AEV. This is super cool. I like what General Motors and GMC is doing here, because from the factory this truck is rated at 2,717 pounds of payload. Of course, all the modifications take away from that because the truck is now sitting a little bit taller. It's got a fairly bulky camper. We'll get that in a second. But nonetheless, the camper dry weight is around 1,250 pounds. And of course, with the battery and solar, it could be closer to 1,700 pounds, maybe approaching 2,000 with a lot of gear. But this truck still can handle it. Very nice. Oh, and by the way, from the factory, this truck, 84X AEV, is rated to pull up to 18,500. That number is probably a little bit smaller because the tongue load with the camper will be a little bit lower that this truck can handle. But nonetheless, that's a lot. On the inside, it's mostly just GMC 84X, which means it's a pretty stylish and nice interior that's packed full of features and also technology. For example, large screens, heated and ventilated seats, of course a heated steering wheel that's leather wrapped, you've got a column shift, and a couple of modifications. I really love this accessory bar that they put on top of the screen. This is where my device holder is. And also the light controls right here in the center feel very natural, as if GMC factory actually put it in here. So that's very nice. Naturally, a giant heavy-duty pickup truck may not be your first choice for an off-road vehicle. But I think the term Overland is a little bit more than just off-road, right? You are driving off-road, but your whole goal is not to do the Rubicon Trail or climb over a gigantic boulder field. Your goal is to get to maybe a remote destination, maybe for recreation, maybe you are actually exploring and doing something actually super meaningful. And so as such, you need to do the harder terrain in order to reach that goal. And that's what a truck like this is all about. Yes, it's heavy. I could feel the weight of it. It's not, a ballerina dancing on this trail. I could feel a little bit of sway. The rear bags do have a lot of pressure in them, so they're offering me some support. But at the end of the day, this is a very big and heavy vehicle. Still capable. It handles Tombstone Hill as if it's not even there. I'm pretty impressed. The only thing I didn't do with this truck is tow a heavy trailer, but I'm pretty sure it would do it because I've done it in other videos. And 14 MPG, about a 9-second 0 to 60 acceleration, I would be happy with that all day long, every day. And how comfortable this truck is quite nice. So I think it truly is the ultimate Overland build. So check it out on Bring a Trailer. In late October or into November, this truck will be up there for you to bid on. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time at alltfl.com. And all proceeds from the sale go to the foundation. It's a charity to support education, trail maintenance, trail cleanup, land conservation, a lot of really good causes.